Hi, this is Amethyst Wildfire. I am so glad you found your way to this presentation. I want to talk to you a little bit about who I am for those of you who don't know me. I have been on the internet now for about 5 years, serving as a mentor to help empower messengers, people who have a big message that really want to get that message out to as many people as they possibly can. Perhaps you're one of those people. You have a calling and you know that you are here to serve a lot of people, maybe even a global audience. I, once upon a time, was in real estate and real estate development, and I actually ended that career back in early 2001 timeframe, and I had a spiritual awakening. As a result of that spiritual awakening, I changed my name, and I also stepped onto the path of being a messenger. At the time that I was in real estate, I was working a lot of hours. I was working probably about 12 to 14 hours a day, most of the time out of my house. I was a young mom. I had a young child at the time. He was between the ages of about 3 and 8 years old when I was really at the peak of that career. I was also the national chairperson for my trade association, and I was doing a lot of things and not really super satisfied. When I had my son, I really had a challenging experience in having him. In fact, when he was born, he was 6 weeks early, and he ended up in the neonatal intensive care for a week. So I really had a deep desire as a mom to spend time with my child. I really wanted to be with him. I really wanted to be part of his growing up. I didn't have this child to send him off to daycare. So for a long period of time as he was growing up in his younger years, about 0 to 8, I was really torn. I was torn between having to work and put money on the table, put bread on the table and a roof over our heads, and also to be able to be the mom that I wanted to be. And one of the things that I discovered when I discovered my spiritual connection was I also discovered that I was a messenger, and I was really meant to spend my time in different ways and to really spend my time more addressing those things and living in the ways that I most highly valued. Because when I wasn't living that way, it caused a lot of disruption in my life, a lot of stress, a lot of health issues, a lot of challenges, and included the challenge of ending my marriage. So I ended my marriage when my son was about 6 years old, and from that moment on, I really was on a quest. I was on a quest to find how I could live my purpose, which had been newly revealed to me, and how I could be present for my son as his mom, and how I could also really enjoy what it was that I was doing and be doing my work and living my purpose and making money and prospering based on what I love to do, not just to get a paycheck. So I went through this amazing journey of discovery, including discovering my secret 7 steps to be able to be heard by millions and make a difference while making money and being the mom I wanted to be. My life now is absolutely a dream come true. I have plenty of time every day. I just came back in from a walk in the woods this morning. It was beautiful. I have a sacred space that I'm sitting in right now sharing this message with you. I have a deep connection to my source and plenty of time for my spiritual work. I have a great relationship with my son, who's now 18 years old. And the reason I have such a great relationship with him is because I've been there. I've been there and I've been present for him throughout his entire growing up period. I was the mom who was on the sidelines during the football games. I was the mom who had brownies and milk on the counter when he came home. I was the mom that called all of his friends' parents and said, send them to my house on a snow day. Whenever there was a snow day, I would have all the kids come to my house because I could, because I had created not only a business that served my purpose, but a lifestyle that served my highest vision, which was to be present and to be a mom. So all of this resulted in me creating a system that I'm now interested and really being guided and enthusiastic about sharing with you. And what I did was I actually created a book called Prosper in Your PJs, Practically Magical Guidance to Manifesting Moolah. And in this book, I reveal my 7-step Be Heard by Millions solution. The book is packed with all kinds of amazing exercises and powerful, powerful tools that you can use to also create a business and a lifestyle of your dreams, where you can prosper in your PJs, serve your purpose, follow your path, and for those of you who are parents, parent in the way that your heart really wants to. So books are great, and I love books. In fact, books are one of my favorite companions. When I have spare time, usually you can find me in a book if I'm not outside in nature or playing with my friends or having fun. I love spending time with books. In fact, when I used to go on vacation before my son was born, I would have a suitcase that was packed with books and another suitcase that was packed with my clothes. What's great about books is that they are really informative. They can inspire us. They can motivate us. They can really teach us a lot of things. And one of the things that I have found, and one of the reasons why I created this book, is I created this book because I really wanted it to be a place where you could just get started, really start to get the information and start to get the motivation that might start you on a journey to creating a business and a life that you love too. Sometimes I find that books, as wonderful as they are, simply aren't enough, though, for everyone. So what I've done is I've come up with something really awesome to package up with this book to give you a really well-rounded experience. Like all great ideas, this came from a problem I noticed in the marketplace. The biggest issue I've seen with my clients and with clients of other coaches that I work with is that people will purchase a product or a book and let it sit on their shelf to collect dust. I've seen people spend money time and again on amazing programs and never do anything with them. This happens even more often if it's a virtual product versus a physical product. At least with a physical product, it's right there in your face, and you can say, oh, I keep meaning to read that book. I keep meaning to read that book. When it's a virtual product, it sits on your computer and it ends up hiding. It's hiding on your hard disk somewhere. And you've spent that money and you've never done anything with it. And it actually makes me feel a little ill. I've seen so many people spend so much money and it just is sitting there not doing anything. Now, a lot of times you will make an investment because you're super inspired by the speaker, you're super inspired by what the possibilities are that you see that can happen as a result of making this investment. But then you've made the investment and you're outside of that speaker's space. You're outside of, you're back in your home environment, let's say. I mean, I've even seen this happen with people going to events. They'll go to an event, they'll get all fired up, they'll have all kinds of materials, they'll bring it home, they'll unpack, they'll dump it on their desk, and the next thing you know, life takes over, and they have kind of forgotten about it. And 6 months later, they look back and say, oh, that was some stuff that I meant to do. That got me really excited, but now it's kind of stale. So what I want is I don't want this to happen to you. I really don't want this to happen to you. I want you to be able to take all of the magical manifesting of moolah materials that I've pulled together in this book, and I want you to actually complete going through the book, exploring your soul, your current business practices, and then start putting all the philosophies and solutions into practice so that you can really actually begin prospering in your PJs. Even though you may purchase my book with every intent of completing it, for whatever reason, as I said, it might wind up sitting on your desktop for weeks or even months. This doesn't serve anyone. It's really hard being a solopreneur. I know. I've been there. I remember when I was first building my business, I was wearing all kinds of hats and just trying to keep my head above water. I know that if you don't have a coach going through the work with you, holding you accountable, these programs have a tendency to never be put into motion. You know what I'm talking about. You might have done this yourself, and you might have even had trouble getting your own students to follow through with a program if you are a coach, a trainer, or a mentor yourself. So based on those real world challenges, I decided to create this program that's packaged with my book that solves this problem. This is a program where you'll be held accountable and have additional support to guide and motivate you to implement the changes that you really want, that you wouldn't have invested in the first place in this package if you didn't really want it. Here's the way it's going to work. When you make the investment in this package, you're going to receive my ebook, The Prosper in Your PJs, Practically Magical Guidance to Manifesting Moolah, Virtually Speaking, and you'll be paired with an accountability coach who's going to walk you through this ebook by assigning you daily tasks for 8 weeks using our special accountability software to keep you on track. Each week, your accountability coach will create tasks for you that include diving into each individual chapter and reflecting on the content, taking the time to define your blocks around each subject. What's stopping you? What can you do to get around it? Each chapter, you'll be doing some journaling, which will be shared with your accountability coach. From the experiences you share in your journal, your coach can make sure you're diving deep enough into the material and maybe offer some advice on how to overcome blocks and send words of motivation. Based on what you find to be your major block in each chapter, you'll be encouraged to take action steps to overcome that block, whether it's taking a step in building your business or working internally on blocks to make sure you aren't sabotaging yourself. And finally, accountability. Your coach is going to be checking in to make sure you're progressing and work with you to keep on track. One thing this course is not. Though it's extremely versatile and packed with great info, this course wasn't designed to be high intensity, and it's not meant to be a heavy time commitment. It's created for the busy solopreneur and is made up of tiny, bite-sized tasks that will get you exploring, both practically and spiritually, what it takes to have a virtual speaking business and be heard by millions. So, are you ready to take that first step to prosper in your PJs? Are you ready to be a mama or a papa in pajamas? Are you ready to be held accountable, but also be held in a supportive, nurturing, and motivating environment? If so, I invite you to click on the link that's connected with this webinar, and let's get started right away. I am super excited to help you and to set the stage for you to have a jump start on your path to prosperity. Thank you so much. This is Amethyst Wildfire, and if you need any more information, please check this information page where you found this webinar slideshow, or contact my team at team@theempoweredmessenger.com.